Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. Today we're designing the poster for the musical we're making, a fantasy musical called The Tears of Nerakhis. I still don't know exactly how to make a poster and this was a especially challenging one because we had to design a poster for a musical that has 21 songs. It's based on a book with 342 pages and it even has a fictional language. But I want to share with you my thought process and how it evolved from the book cover to musical. In the original cover of the book, you see the two main characters, Calanthe and Alea. And Calanthe is a human girl, and Alea is the daughter of a god. She is a goddess. And the two girls fall in love, and they have to escape their families. They have to escape gods and men and all sorts of creatures as they go on all the adventures throughout the book. It's a love story. It's tragedy as well, but above everything, it's a love story. And so, in the book, you see that Calanthe is this sort of like very small figure, and Alea is hanging above her. She's much bigger than her, and there's a reason for that. When I was designing the cover of the book, Alea is this goddess that is kind of like in Calanthe's mind all the time, and Calanthe kind of like looks up to her. She adores her. She thinks of her as someone so much greater than her, and given that Calanthe is the one writing the story, she's the author and narrator of the book, it made sense for Calanthe to be this small figure that's kind of like in the shadow, we could say, of Alea. And this was the first ideas that I had when I was thinking of the design for the poster, but quite soon I realized that a lot of things had changed when we had taken the book and we had passed it into the musical, because suddenly Calanthe, by the main simple idea of being the narrator of the story, gets some of the best songs and gets most of the songs. Actually, you can see how Calanthe has almost 13 songs, or she's starring in 13 of the songs, whereas Alea, who is this creature that was so prominently featured in the cover of the book, only has 4 or 5. And so I think that was quite interesting when I realized that, because it kind of speaks to the difference of mediums, of taking something from a book into a musical and what that's doing to the story. In the book, you kind of have a more introspective, relatable, intimate relationship with the narrator, right? So the narrator is much more you. He's someone that's relatable. In this case, Calanthe is kind of like small in this world of gods, because you are also small in this world of gods, and so she has that kind of like smaller space in the cover. However, take literally the same story and turn it into a musical. Suddenly Calanthe becomes a star, because the person whose emotions are being explored more thoroughly becomes the person that's also the most famous, the person that's also celebrated the most. So that was an interesting finding about the difference between musicals and books and literature, you could say. What that meant for my poster is that it didn't really make sense for Calanthe to keep being small. Calanthe had grown, she had become this sort of like main part of the story in a way that she had to be the most prominently featured in the cover. At the same time, the colors of Calanthe, in this case, the choice of that bright orange that you're seeing here, this we call Calanthe orange, but it's kind of like a setting sun orange. that color suddenly takes a lot more protagonism, whereas as you had seen before in the cover of the book, the colors that were predominant were the blues and the cold colors of the world of Nerakhis and the world of Alea. Here the orange takes center stage. And so I slowly came to the realization that Calanthe had to be in the middle of the poster, and the colors of Calanthe especially, so like in this case the dress of Calanthe had to be in the middle. And I was honestly kind of lucky with the colors, because the complementary color of orange is blue, like the dark blue of the night, and that's something that you see in a lot of posters. If you look at Hollywood posters, you'll find that there's a lot of them, especially in action movies and the like, that use like orange and blue. You know, you can see it in Avengers and Mission Impossible and James Bond, all those kind of posters are using this kind of like juxtaposition of orange and blue. And for us, that was great, because we would have used it anyway, just because of how important it is to our story, that kind of like relationship between day and night, the conflict between the god of the sun and the god of the night. So like the oranges and golden colors of the daylight, and then the blues and kind of like silver colors of the night. So it was great for us, and it's just this kind of thing where like the colors kind of like tell a story a little bit as well, and we wanted to really keep our palette of colors to that. So if you see the colors that I'm choosing, the main colors that I'm using are what's called sunset orange, and then Prussian blue. Prussian blue is a deep blue that gives this kind of like very rich, very deep night color that can make everything else like shine. And this is the final result. If you want me to make a video where I explain the icons and symbols and all the Easter eggs from the poster in depth, please tell me down below in the comments. I wanted this to be a bit more of a relaxing, kind of paint with me video where I explain my thought process as I was making it, but I am open to any suggestion, so please let us know in the comments what you'd like to see from the musical the most. As you know, we're making a musical. It's a musical about love, it's a musical about gods, and it's a musical especially with a lot of fantasy. Please remember to subscribe, tell us what you think of this video, and we'll see you very soon.